Hey, Bendiciono, what up, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. So if you, I always got my notes. I always gotta have my notes with me. If you have not seen the mini docu-series that I did on illegitimate Orisha practices, definitely check it out. I was actually just filming it before filming this. That's why I have a different background. I changed it up just to switch it up. So I made it red. As well as I will get onto part 3 of legitimate YouTubers to check out in regards to Orisha information. But, you know, Shadow of Wolves, she has information on fairies and the elementals, if that's something that you know calls to you. Gato Oriate, you know, he also has information on Palo, Astia Bais. He also has wonderful information on like, you know, Adimu, simple things you can do. People from different walks of life. Sansisa Seven Crossroads and Aburisha, very lovely woman. So yeah, check it out if you haven't already seen it. Okay, so this particular video was actually inspired by the YouTuber. I don't want to reveal who it is. I want to keep it a surprise. But she's got like almost 11,000 subscribers. And it's definitely a topic that I've been wanting to speak on. People in usually like in not just the Americas, but like in the United States, usually with Black Americans. When I say Americans, like United States. If you want to be technical, yes, I know Mexicans are Americans and South Americans are American. But people with, usually Americans with transatlantic slave ancestry, claiming Egyptian ties and ancestry. So basically, this YouTuber inspired me because, for me personally, I find it ridiculous, to say the least, if I can just be honest, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. You know, I know I have a wide array of people that watch these videos. Why do Black descended Americans claim Egyptian mythology and culture when the transatlantic slave trade was in West Africa and the Congo? The highest maybe was like Senegal, the Ivory Coast, in those areas. But it was literally on the left side. If you look at a map, it's on the left side of the continent of Africa. And Egypt is on the complete opposite side, on the northern east, the top right side. So if, you know, this is Africa, then the slave trade was over here and Egypt is like way over here. And I looked it up, at least from Nigeria to Egypt, because a lot of slave trade came from Nigeria. From Nigeria to Egypt is literally almost 1,000 miles away. That's equivalent, because I'm a Jersey boy, that's equivalent to me being in Jersey and claiming Floridian culture and religion. But I'm from Jersey and I'm like, yo, big ups to Florida. Those are my peeps. It just doesn't make sense to me. This particular YouTuber says like, oh, the ancient ways of doing things, but your ancestors didn't come from Egypt. Egypt is very close to Greece, very close to is it by Italy? I don't think so. I'm not a what's the word? Not geometry, geography. I'm not a geographist. I don't know, but I'm no scholar on this. But I damn know well that Nigeria ain't got nothing to do with Egypt. So, people with like tattoos, like specifically, people with African descendants, putting like tattoos of Egyptian stuff and saying we got to get back to our culture. when Egypt is not part of those cultures. You have the freaking the Congo, the Lukumi, the Yoruba, the Igbo, all matter of tribes, the Fan people, the Dahomey people. That's the transatlantic slave trade. Egypt and their systems of religion and mythology literally has nothing to do with anything that had to do with the transatlantic slave trade. I don't know what Egypt was doing back in the early 1500s when the slave trade started, but Egypt was not even on the radar of what was going on. So when people talk about like getting back to their roots and they refer to Egypt as one of those places, I don't know where that comes from. So it's just odd to me. Claim what you want to claim. I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying my point of view. My entire channel is, I have to always give the disclaimer, it's all my opinion. If my opinion happens to be fact, then okay. Give me your thoughts in the comments. Black Americans, and even Afro-Latino, just from the slave trade descendants, claiming a culture and a religion of Egypt, and putting tattoos of Ankhs on their bodies, and having altars to Set and Amun-Ra and Anubis, and all the different gods and deities that belong or originate in Egypt, even though the transatlantic slave trade literally 1,000 miles away from each other. That's just odd to me, saying we got to get back to our ancient ways, got to get back to the original ways of doing things, worship our original gods and deities. Well, Egypt's not one of those places. I totally believe in it, the same way I believe in the Orishas and the Lawan, the Mpungu, and the elementals. Just because, Egypt isn't part of my culture, we all have Egun that come from different backgrounds. So you can be a freaking, white as white comes, where you do your DNA test and all you got is freaking Welsh and German and English, and it's just straight white, European white. And yet you have a freaking Arabe that walks with you. You could be freaking Chinese, or a Japanese, because historically they just stood away from the rest of the world for so long that they're like the most purest, if you will, because they just didn't have anything to do with the rest of the world until like World War II. And a freaking Japanese person could have a Congo that walks with them, a freaking Madama. So I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying from like a DNA standpoint, saying we got to get back to our roots. Why am I going to go to Egypt if I happen to have a muerto that was Egyptian in their time? Then okay. Or if a deity that resides in the Egyptian pantheon, if they say, okay, yo veo un dios de Egypt that walks with, que camina contigo. Okay, word. So I got Set walking with me. Dope. You could be freaking German, and someone say, I don't know why, but I see the Baum Cementerio walking with you. That's not the issue. I'm just saying, like, if you're talking like straight blood and ancestry, if your background comes from African slave trade and Nigeria, Senegal, Congo, Benin, Togo, the Ivory Coast, where the slave trade took place, why are people from those descendants claiming stuff from 1,000 miles away in Egypt, saying they got to get back to their roots? I don't know. Unless a person believes that the cradle of life happens in Egypt, you know, but I also think a lot of people just refer to Africa as one giant country, and it's got like mad countries, you know. So, oh, I'm African. Well, are you Kenyan or Nigerian or Egyptian or Congolese or Senegalese or, you know, it's a continent. So I just think it's weird to claim something that's 1,000 miles away and saying you're getting back to your roots when literally you don't have a drop of Egyptian in you. Unless you can prove it. I mean, prove it in your DNA test, or you just have a muerto that walks with you that was Egyptian. You know, but that doesn't mean like you have Egyptian walking with you. You know, so you know, I hope I'm making sense. It's just something, you know, just a little food for thought. Why are African descended people, just in general, but usually I feel like in America, claim stuff from Egypt and claim the gods from Egypt when their ancestries had no idea that, or like, oh, we got to get back to our roots to Kemet. What the heck? Kemet's 1,000 miles away. Your freaking people were honoring Obatala and Dambala and whoever that, you know, freaking Balo and all that stuff. Not Set and all the Egyptian stuff, which is beautiful, by the way. So yeah, tell me what your thoughts are. And yeah, in the meantime, I'm working on the next episode of the docuseries. But let me know what you think in the comments. If you agree, if you disagree, like, dislike, be sure to subscribe. That's the best way to support me and my small channel. So thank you. Bendición, El Conquistador, over and out.